morning, we have a lesson from 1 Thessalonians and also Luke 18 right after this. Yeah, I'm not really for sure. I haven't heard a report about what Puxatawny Phil saw in Pennsylvania. But I know that when I crawled out of my shell this morning, I saw my shadow. Beautiful Monday morning. Glad to have you here. It's been a couple of weeks. We actually planned to be together last week, but it snowed where I was at. How about you? We live out off of Chicory, if any of you are familiar with that Peck Hollow area. Yeah. Where we live, when you have this kind of weather, you stay put. And so cabin fever for about 3 days, but finally got out, and hopefully we got some warmer temperatures coming up. Hey, we've been doing some lessons out of 1 Thessalonians. We're actually going to still connect to that this morning. But the text in 1 Thessalonians actually only has 2 words. So I was thinking to myself, how do you do a 2-word devotion, or do a devotion out of just 2 words? And then I thought of a story that Jesus told one day. And so here it is in Luke chapter 18. Here's a story he told, and it connects to our 1 Thessalonians thought. Jesus told his disciples a parable to show them that they should always pray and not give up. We have a lot of different definitions for what a parable is, but one that I learned a long time ago, and I still like it, is this. A parable is a earthly story with a heavenly meaning. Jesus is going to tell this story to illustrate to the disciples, don't ever give up praying. Here we go. He said, in a certain town, there was a judge who neither feared God nor cared what the people thought. And there was a widow in that town who kept coming to him with the plea, grant me justice against my adversary. Apparently, she had someone that was causing her a lot of grief. For some time, he refused, that is, the judge. But finally, he said to himself, even though I don't fear God or care what people think, yet because this widow kept bothering me, I will see that she gets justice so that she won't continually come and attack me. And the Lord said, listen to what the unjust judge says. And will not God bring about justice for his chosen ones who cry out to him day and night? Will he keep putting them off? I tell you, he will see that they get justice, and quickly. However, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on the earth? You know what? If an unjust judge or if unjust judges eventually give in because of constant pressure, how much more will our gracious, loving God help us in our need or crisis? There was a man by the name of Adrian Rogers who said this: Satan cannot keep God from answering your prayers, but he will keep us from asking. And I think sometimes when it comes to prayer and or prayer requests, we have a list of them, but if they're not answered in the time frame we want, we kind of give up. We think that God's too busy, He doesn't care. What Jesus is trying to teach here to the disciples simply is don't stop praying. You don't need to badger him about things, but here's the connection to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 17, which says these two things: pray continually. I've seen a lot of different acronyms, but one of them that I saw on a magnet one time dealing with prayer was this one: push. Pray until something happens. And it's very possible that sometimes, as Garth Brooks sang a long time ago, maybe an unanswered prayer is God's answer. But I think he does answer us in some way. Now, it's something we need to understand before we break away for today, and this. We need to understand that to persist in prayer and not give up does not mean endless repetition or long, painful prayer sessions. Always praying means simply to keep our requests before God as we live for him day to day. You see, when we live by faith, we are not to give up. Something for us as we start out February. Can you believe it? We're already into February 2026. Thank you again for joining us. Like and share, pass this along, and we hope that you have a wonderful Groundhog Day and rest of this week. God bless, and we'll see you next Monday on Plugged In.